And welcome back to Cottage Talk Full Time. I'm Russ Goldman. Joining me right now is Yannis and the Fulham Shadow, who really is a shadow tonight. Our friend Emilio Di Nello. He is actually outside of Craven Cottage. You can make him up, but he is really the shadow tonight. And we're going to talk about an emphatic Emilio 6-2 victory. Now, I want to start off going to you because you and I talked about a month ago. I think it was before the match with Bournemouth. You wanted to see an emphatic victory. Well, it took a little bit. Now you have them back to back. What are your thoughts about what you watched at Craven Cottage?
Well, yeah, it's good to have you back on the show. Yeah, hi, Russ.
Thank you, matey. Good to see you.
What can you say? That was an emphatic performance, especially that first half. It's the whole team, especially the first 15 minutes of it was an entertaining game, but overall we were emphatic. The quality was there to be seen. We needed a commanding performance. What can you say? You had a man top of his confidence. 10 out of 10 performance from the big man up front.
Yep.
Similarities with Bobby Zamora there today in terms of his all-round play, his physique, his vision, his goals, everything. And then with the rest of the team, it was just a 10 out of 10 performance. There were some nervy moments at the beginning, and
of course,
give us our dues. We came back from twice from behind to win emphatically, like you said. But overall, one more can Fulham fan. 13 goals in 2 games? 13 goals in 2 games. It's insane. It's an insane result, but. We'll take it, go to Birmingham on Tuesday night and more of the same, please. But this is going to be encouraging now, right?
Absolutely.
2 back-to-back wins, emphatic wins. We've got a result back at Craven Cottage. When was the last time we won at home? I think it was a Barnsley game back in November. So we needed a home victory for the fans, and now we got that. So let's continue this run like we did when we lost to Coventry back in October time. So as a fan, what more can we ask for? We've got.
I don't know.
We can go and celebrate
7?
tonight.
Are you disappointed that they didn't get the 7?
To be honest, I am disappointed. We're all wanting 7. We're all expecting to score 8. We're all recollecting all the 5, 6
think about that.
We were recollecting all the games in the past where we've been watching our Fulham play home or away, where we've got 5, we've got 6. Yep. Not many 7s. I remember 7s against Swansea. I was here with them. We've lost. What was it? 10-0 to Liverpool. 6-0 to Port Vale at home, 5-0 at home to Chester, all those donkeys years ago. So we've had some good and bad performances over the years, but I'm disappointed we didn't score more, to be honest. And I only saw one towards the Hammersmith end from the Fulham fans. So that was the great Cabana goal in the second half. That was a disappointment. Knowing our luck, all the Fulham goals from the first half were on the other side of the pitch. So, but I'm not complaining. 6-2, 3 points, top of the league, another hat trick. What more is there to complain about? There's nothing to complain about, really.
No, there isn't, Emilio. And we'll talk about upcoming. I think it was very important, and Yannis, I'll go to you because I want your opening thoughts. Very important to show that they could come from behind. Now, they did it twice in this match, and I think it's vital to show that you have that side of you.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them struggle when they get behind. They did it twice today. I think this is something actually to build on. And then once they got their noses in front, it was all Fulham. So I want your opening thoughts, Yannis.
Yeah, the 2 home defeats to Reading and Sheffield United came to mind there. I mean, I remember the Reading game at home. We should have absolutely destroyed them. We created enough chances. But I'm still scratching my head a little bit because results sort of went our way before the game started, with the Cherries getting popped by Luton, and then Blackburn, of course, got a nice win up down in Wales. But I thought it was a complete performance, and I think it was important because we've got 2 tricky games coming up with Birmingham City and Stoke. And Birmingham, you never really know what you're going to get. They got a decent point up at Deepdale today. And Stoke City, I think, are at a real crossroads of their season with Michael O'Neill and their team. They picked up, funnily enough, Phil Jagielka this morning.
Wow.
With the fallout of the Derby nonsense. So we needed the win. And I thought in the second half in particular, we pulled the handbrake up. I think we really, it was in the bag. Yep. And you could tell that Pearson's boys were in the, they knew they were done. And, we stepped down a little bit, which is fine. But a good win overall, and all we can do is now with the games in hand coming up, we keep winning, and that's going to be the key. We keep winning and keep playing, it's funny how Seri's gone off, and all of a sudden with Harrison in the number 6, you've got Kearney now just running the whole bloody park.
That's right.
Making
That's
it
a
silly.
great point, Yannis.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic point how the central midfield has actually changed and actually really come together with Seri not being there. It's very interesting what happens when he comes back, because I think that Harrison Reed has really gone back to his natural position. And Emilio, I want to get your thoughts on this because you watched this. The three of them together, I'm talking about Harrison Reed. You have now Tom Kearney really being able to run the show a little further up the pitch. And then you have Carvalho able to make those runs and be dangerous. So that three now seem pretty settled and have really opened things up. How can you argue with those middle three now scoring 7 goals last game and 6 goals now? So what are your thoughts about central midfield? That's a great point by Yannis
it is.
to bring up the change now with Seri being out.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think the only thing is, I thought before the game, I still called out the fact that we're still lightweight in midfield, and those 2 goals we conceded, it's a consequence that we're not got enough strength in that midfield. That that midfield is elegant when things are going for us, when we're passing, the movement off the ball, just the link up play, great. But when the chips are down, and Bristol City played a very high pressing game right from the off, and in a way they contributed their own downfall because they didn't change their tactics when we twice equalised and then took the lead. They carried on playing a high pressing game, and that played to our advantage. And you saw the way we were just passing the ball sweetly and beautifully. But for me, when their 2 goals are because we're not strong enough in midfield. No one making a challenge. Their first goal reminded me of the Sheffield United goal, that we conceded last month. And for me, it's an interesting dilemma. I still prefer to have Seri there, probably in that central holding midfield. To be honest, Harrison Reed. I keep saying I'm not his biggest fan, but he did what he's paid to do. He'll run around like a headless chicken, break up play. Isn't pretty at times. There were some positives from him. There were some negatives from him today, but I would still like to see Seri in that position, to be honest. I would still like to see him there. I just don't think we're physically strong enough with those 3 playing week in, week out. And when the chips are down and they don't give us, if teams close us down and play a tactical game like Sheffield United do, we will struggle with those 3 in midfield.
Okay.
Physically.
What about Chalobah? Because I think Chalobah offers what you're looking for, Emilio.
Yeah. He looked good. He was probably the only one who made a meaningful contribution when he came on, as a substitute. To be honest, probably Reed and Moonies didn't really offer much, but it was a professional second half performance. There's no need to stretch yourself. You've got another game coming up on Tuesday night, whether it's 6-2 or 10-2. It's still 3 points on the board. So it's close this game off. Be professional. Don't stretch yourself. Don't take unnecessary risks, and prepare yourself for Tuesday night. But Chalobah, I thought, passed the ball neatly, calmly, a bit like Tom Kearney in that respect. But I don't see him being as a natural starting 11. I still see him as being a substitute and covering when there's injuries rather than an automatic starter. But it'd be interesting to see what we do with Seri. Seri will obviously have a couple games to rest when he gets back from the African Nations Cup. But look, he had the man of the match performance the other day. So, I see him still returning back to his natural position when he's back from the African Nations Cup. And hopefully we're still in pole position in this division.
Okay, interesting. I want to get, Yannis, your thoughts on this. I know we're talking about, something in the future, but what do you make of what Emilio just shared? Because, again, we watched the performance, and Emilio's concerned about being too lightweight in central midfield, and he would actually want Seri back in his natural role. What do you make of that?
It's funny, I can't believe I'm going to mention this again. But when I saw the second goal that Semenyo scored, I really do like Tim Ream, as you know, but really the marking there in terms of touch tight wasn't good enough. And that's where you really need to be more physical. And that's a weak point for us. We need, I kept thinking, where's Steph Joe? Isn't it? Yeah. I mean, that's really
Gentleman Jim actually said that during the match.
Kevin McDonald, Steph Joe.
Yeah, McDonald, Steph Joe.
He actually said that during the match, that referenced Stefan Johansson, that maybe, and again, I don't want to put words in Jim's mouth, but he talked about that type of player.
Yeah, and that's something we maybe need to look at. If you look at even that second goal, Harrison was running across alongside Ream. I thought he could have cut the angle there. It was a nice finish. Two nice goals from the lad.
Yeah,
but you can't. You've got to look at the lessons we got to learn from. When Ndai scored against us. For Sheffield United.
Same thing.
An Achilles heel there. Yeah, it's same thing. It's an Achilles heel. We've got to keep an eye on that. I think Tim Ream will be disappointed with that second goal. I really do. You should be able to be hold up, turn that quick, and really, it was a super goal.
Both goals.
Both goals
were excellent.
Both goals were.
Semenya. Both were excellent. You can't fault him, and you can't fault Bristol City's approach, Yannis, because as Emilio already said, I was concerned to see what would happen when we got pressed again. And Emilio brought this up. His concern is, what do you do when a team can really work that out and really causes all kinds of problems and we don't respond? You don't have that physical presence. And they did that, and then they have this goal scorer that could really hurt us twice. So what are your thoughts about that? I mean, again, you are going right to, I hate to say it, and again, I like Tim Ream, but I think they need to, seriously, Yannis, I think they need to consider looking at a center back in this window right now. I hate to go there when we're talking about a huge victory, but you know what? I thought about it just like Emilio mentioned, and I've thought about it for a while. He is a liability at times because of, again, he's getting up there in age and he just can't stay with younger, quicker, physical players. Yannis, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a tough one because we've Blackburn are hanging around.
They are.
West Brom have tailed off, and if you're going to start really planning for next year, based on the assumption that Tim Ream won't be around, you really need a left-sided centre back. So with this transfer window, I'm not talking about a loan unless it's a loan to a purchase. But I think that's somewhere we need somebody to partner Tosin. And I think that that might be something that Silver's going to take a very close look at to see if there's anybody out there. There may be players out there. You've got to look international as well. Right. But we shouldn't be conceding to Bristol City. No disrespect. I think they're an okay side.
Right.
But really, we really shouldn't be. I mean, I'm sure Silver would have gone in at half-time and gone, "Are you kidding me? Why never mind we scored 5. Why have we conceded 2? I'd have been annoyed at that.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll have gone to sleep. He'll go to sleep all right tonight, but say now, what can we do to make adjustments? Troy Deeney, we're facing Troy Deeney Tuesday night.
Yep.
I mean, he's someone who can do the same thing, turn, move. He's still got a little bit of pace and he can shoot. So some questions for Silver to look at. Okay.
Back over to you, Emilio. That was really the negative part that we can talk about. Let's now focus on some positivity, okay?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the equalizer that made it 1-1, Emilio, from Mitro.
Yeah, again, it's just great cross from Wilson and just a perfect header from Mitrovic in the bottom, in the right, directed it perfectly well. Bottom corner, keeper. I had a good view from a diagonal standpoint. It was just as soon as he hit it on the head, it was in the back of the net. So again, what was important there is the way we responded fairly quickly. So I thought we started the first 4 or 5 minutes positive, attack minded, but then it said we weren't aggressive enough in the middle of the park. It just felt like a Sheffield United Mark II, and then the guy scored a very good goal. Maybe I don't think the keeper could be at fault. It was in his near post. So again, maybe goalkeeper don't like to be beaten from that position, but overall it was the power that he put on the shot. But overall we responded pretty well in the first half. Normally we take our time getting an equaliser, don't we? We tend to wait till the second half, but we responded early and back on top. And I thought, that's it. Okay, now we're going to take control. And then unfortunately, again, we weren't strong enough in midfield. Defensively, like Yannis said, we should have done better, and they took the lead again. So it's but overall they played they made it easier for us just the way they were set up, because it was a very open game. It was very entertaining, and maybe Pearson should have made some technical changes when it went 2-1 up, and he didn't. No, and that was to our advantage.
He just stuck with what they were doing, and it really played to our strengths, Emilio. I'm glad that you brought that up. And Yannis, I want to go back to you, because as we're talking about the problems Fulham had by giving up these 2 goals, I want to now focus, like we just did, on the response. You have the first response, and as Emilio said, sometimes it takes us a while to have a response. Well, then we had a second response, and Cabano gets the equalizer. Talk about how important this is, not just in this game, but just in the mentality of Fulham Football Club, to come back twice in a game.
Well, it's the Harry Wilson effect. I mean, before the City game in the Cup last week, I thought he was struggling a little bit, and he seemed to be looking a little sorry for himself. And then when he scored the winner down at Ashton Gate, fluke or no fluke, I think it was a bit of a fluke, all of a sudden he perked up. He had a worldie of the game against Reading. And again, it's a perfect cross. Like that first goal was a fantastic cross because of the spin.
Yep.
And Mitra did the rest. And for this one, it was a similar sort of cross, except Mitra's done what he does brilliantly, the nod down. The beautiful nod down across the box, and Cabana doing the right thing, making the run in, the third man run in. It was a super goal. And again, that link between Wilson and Mitro is scary. It's different because it's easy when a ball is coming over and you say, well, head it clear. But this is why players like Wilson sometimes are underrated, because the amount of spin that he puts on the ball makes it difficult, makes it swerve. That's why someone like James Ward-Prowse is such a brilliant player, because he's, whether it's dead ball or moving ball, the spin adds the weight to the ball, and it makes the ball wobble a little bit. And especially with the second thing, the defender misread it, spin did him in, a little nod back, and Cabana's put it in. And at that point, I'm thinking, we should take care of this now. It's 2-2. We should win it from here.
Okay. And back over to you, Emilio, because I think the next goal from Fulham, I think, is vital in so many different ways. As Yannis just said, at 2-2, you get that next goal, and you can really push on like Fulham did. But the person who scored the goal, I think it was very important that he got this goal. And we're talking about Fabio Carvalho. He hasn't scored in a while.
Yeah.
And this was a goal that we've seen from him before. It's been a long time. I think this is very important for not just Fulham Football Club, but for Carvalho. Gave Fulham the lead, but in the long term, I think this is going to be massive for him.
Yeah, he needed that goal, like you said, for confidence purposes. But we did back. We responded in the same way that Sheffield, from Sheffield United and what Bristol City did today when they went right through the middle of the park. And again, Carvalho had the time, space, and the finish was immense. To be honest, and that's put a few million on his price tag. To be honest, if he's going to go this season, so overall, he needed that for his confidence. He got our noses in front in the game, and I think that's probably the best goal of the game, to be honest, in my opinion, because he's just young lad.
Yep.
Slightly devoid of that was his best performance since he's come back from injury, certainly as that I've seen, to be honest. And overall, he needed that to boost his confidence, and there'll be agents sniffing around even more so after that goal. And Bristol City's players, the defence stood off him, and he had time, space, and his finish was immaculate. So very fair play to him. He had a very good game today, and I think I think a lot of fans have been critical of him, especially the fact that he's not signed a contract, and his performances since injury haven't been good enough for his, by his own standards. But he's answered a few critics there with that superb goal and his overall play today.
Okay, excellent. And I just want to share this because Dave, this is why I am really talking about this. Nice to see us respond from going behind. I think it's so important moving forward for Fulham that they did this today, especially against a team that pressed them, because I wanted to see if they could deal with a team that wasn't going to give them the space and was going to press them. I know we're talking about their deficiencies when they're pressed, but once they got beyond that and got the goals that they needed, it played to their strength. So they had to get through that. And I think coming from behind is huge. Yannis, I want to go back to you. I'm going to give you the honors to talk about the two goals from Mitro. Amazing. To get another hat trick in the first half. Have you ever seen that? This many? How many times has he done this now? It's crazy.
And before we do that as well, can I just make a comment as well? When it was 3-2
Go ahead.
I haven't seen a replay, but in front of me, the Harrison Reed tackle in the penalty area. Was that a penalty?
That's a great question. What are your thoughts about that? Yannis?
I thought it was a penalty from where I sat, right in front of me, but I haven't seen a replay. But
I couldn't get a good view.
It went to 4-2.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying that could have been a turning point of the game. But I don't know what you guys saw there on
replay. What do you think? Because I couldn't tell if he actually got him or not because he backed off. It was a bad view.
I thought it was a pen. I thought we got away with one now.
Okay.
I'm man enough to admit that. We've had a lot of calls this year that haven't gone quite.
I'm sure Nigel Pearson will be talking about that.
That was actually Nigel Pearson leaving behind Teddy there in his moped. It's a long way down the M4, mate. I'll tell you. But no. I mean, it's Mitro.
Yep.
Mitro is just he's in fire. I think I'm more happy with his creation of goals than even his goal
Hey, he's
scoring.
getting his teammates involved.
He's getting his teammates involved. He's playing with a smile on his face. He's having fun, and a happy Mitro is a happy Fulham.
Agree.
I mean, I couldn't believe, we're 5-2 up on City at half time, and it's you going, this is, have we really just scored 12 goals in 3 halves? This is absolute insanity. But the importance was to score goals at home, because we've been free flowing on the road, but at home not so much. So it was nice to bang a few past City. No disrespect to them, although I do like seeing Nigel Pearson grimace.
I kind of enjoyed that too. And Emilio, I want to go back to you, because I was talking to someone before the match and said that Bristol City, especially at Craven Cottage, is Fulham's bogey team right now, up until this match. So I think it's even nicer to beat that team, because, again, I can't tell you, over the last few years, several years now, they've come to Craven Cottage and had their way with Fulham. It was nice that now Fulham actually have done this to two teams. They did it to Reading, because, again, I'm so happy they were able to do it to Reading. Now they've done it to Bristol City.
Yeah.
They've actually got rid of some demons.
Yeah.
At least for the supporters.
Exactly. Breaking down those psychological barriers. I know players don't always look at score, trends and past performances against club. But like you said, we've constantly been beaten at home by Bristol City in previous seasons. But, I want to just call out, just that goal from Mitrovic to the top corner, the ball from Tom to him. Just look at Tom's calmness, composure, arrogance, so the way he just passed it to Mitrovic, and just that finish. That finish again just reminds me of Bobby Zamora type finish from the Premier League. That's why so many similarities with Bobby today, with his hold-up play, vision, strength, passing, scoring, heading. Look, what more do you want? This guy's a beast and top of his game at the moment. And and we kept saying even today, surely we would have scored more than 9 league goals last season at home if we had played Mitrovic. I know we may not have stayed up, but again, it's what if we keep saying. Right. But look, let's get promoted this season and let's see what happens next year. But it's overall, the man's in the best form of his life, to be honest. And Gordon Davis, if you're watching, your record is getting close. I was winding him up the other day, but I think he's still got a long way before he gets Gordon's all-time record goals for Fulham. But at this rate, he's going to hit 40 goals this season.
Absolutely.
But the worry is,
some comments,
who's backup? Where's the backup? And that's
okay. Again,
still lingering
the
in my mind.
Fulham Shadow has to go to the negative. He has to go there.
No, but I'm trying to make sure we win this league. 1-0 injury to Mitrovic. Just let's make sure we've got enough quality in reserve there.
Okay. I understand why you're saying that, because you're right. Actually, I would agree with that. I'm just going to share some comments about Mitro. We got Stefan saying Mitro plays for the team. I agree with that. This goes back to our conversation from our friend Colm Bugler. It's not all about his goals.
Yeah, you're right.
His salary is important as well. You guys are both talking about that. And as Stefan said, this is all confidence building, and I agree with that. I'm going to share this from our friend Steve Reynolds. After 5 minutes, Mitro was having a go at Cav for a lack of movement. That said, Mitro was up for it, and I totally agree with that.
Saw that moment, yeah.
Okay. Good stuff, guys. All right, let's flip to the second half, and I'll go back to you, Emilio, because you've already said this. You were actually kind of disappointed that they didn't score more goals. But Nice can score to make it 6-2, and you probably got a good view of this one.
Absolutely. Just again, another player probably playing the form of his life as well. We've not seen Cabana play at this level consistently throughout his Fulham career, but the arrogance, the technique, and the way and the finish there was amazing. That's again that thing. Was it Colm or Stefan McLeod just made the point? It's all about confidence there.
Exactly.
Cabana would not have scored that maybe 2 seasons ago, but again, it's confidence does a lot to your ability and your all-round play, and just the arrogance, just his technique there to give himself the time and the shot, the power. the keeper, no chance, 6-2, and we still had half an hour then. That's why somewhat disappointed it wasn't more than 6, because Cabano scuffed another shot.
I'm sharing this comment from our friend Chris Goodwin. The Fulham Shadow has very high standards. This is true, Chris.
Yes.
This is true.
Yeah. Realistic as well, realistic standards as well. It's let's not get carried away. But yeah, that goal was just immense, and maybe Neeskens could have got a 7th when he scuffed that other shot, and Mooney's when he didn't anticipate that ball from Reed in the 6-yard ball. Where the hell was Mooney's there? You've got to get in that. You've got to anticipate that ball and get the ball in the back of the net. So yeah, I am disappointed we didn't get more than 6. Okay. But the fact that the goalkeeper was time wasting literally from half time to keep the score down. When have you ever heard of that? An opposing goalkeeper time wasting.
It just shows you again. I said this about the last match as well, that Fulham didn't make them quit. I'm talking about Bristol City, but they made them submit to how they wanted to play. They didn't give up, but they knew that nothing good was really going to come from this, that the match was over.
Yeah.
And that was that. That was that, Emilio and Yannis. So coming up next, we're going to talk about man of the match. I think I know who it is, but we're going to talk about man of the match, and feel free to share who your man of the match was for this impressive victory for Fulham. Okay, Yannis, I'll go to you first. Man of the match. I have to say it's got to be Mitro, right?
I'm not sure because Mitro because Mitro was absolutely magnificent, but Kearney's joie de vivre and flow and just presence was just. I mean, it was something. All right, I'm going to give it to Mitro, but it's a very close one, 1A, 1B. Kearney's. I mean, we've got 2 games coming out, obviously, with the Brummies and the Potters. So I'm hoping his knee is going to be okay and what have you. But when he's on the pitch, he's a marshal. He makes it look so easy, and they all seem like they're playing with a lot of fun and a lot of freedom.
Exactly,
which is great. Mitro was I mean, what am I going to say? 27 and 24. He's going to obliterate Tony's record.
Yep.
I think he could get 45 actually.
That would be crazy.
Wait till Blackpool. We're playing Blackpool, I think, 2 weeks today.
Yep.
I bet Mitro's been eyeing this particular return match for a while. I bet he's going to go, you know what? Bloomfield Road, maybe. We're not down here in West London. We're going to have you buggers. And I'm predicting now that he scores a hat-trick against Blackpool. You heard it from me first.
I really hope you're right. Okay, Fulham Shadow, man of the match.
Yeah, it's Mitro for me. It's I think a no-brainer really, but I think I agree with Yannis. Tom Kearney's influence today, his passing, his vision. There was some Scott Parker-ness in his play as well, but then that's what you need when you're sort of goal down, 2-1 down. Yep. You need some composure, some calmness, some keep the ball, don't give the ball away cheaply. All those basically that's what Tom Kearney is very good at doing. And when he was on the ball, he looked immense, got assists. Yep. What was the only thing that was missing from Tom Kearney's game today was a goal. But overall, he was a close second. And I want to again, I've mentioned it earlier, Carvalho. I thought this was his best performance since injury. And hopefully this will give him the confidence to push on, because he's not been playing particularly well in recent weeks. But that was probably the goal of the game as well from our perspective. So
okay.
And Cabano another 2 goals. We can't not call him out. So the whole very good team performance. But I don't want to reflect on some of the negatives, because we should be relishing this 6-2 victory, and let's move on to Birmingham City. But there's just a few niggling doubts there here and there as always. So.
Okay, excellent stuff. I'm going to share some comments. We have to start here. Emilio is living up to the shadow. He certainly is. Thank you, Steve, for sharing that. Let's see. We got our friend Wayne says Mitro all day long. My friend Saint Emma, Mitro man of the match. That's going to really bother Steve. I had to share that. So let's see. Man of the match. This Mitro fellow who keeps scoring goals. I agree with that. Let's see. We got Mitro from Mats, and Stefan also says Mitro. I think it's hard not to say Mitro, but I'm glad, Yannis, that you brought up Tom Kearney, because again, we're going back to the return, when that is, of Jean-Michel Seri, but this is given the opportunity, Yannis, for Tom Kearney to shine again.
Yeah, and one of the other things that I think has been spectacular during this run is the fact that Cavallero has been magnificent the last 8 or 9 games. He's not made any mistakes. He's had no touch. He's had no touches of the ball. He's not missed any chances, and he's not missed any headers. Every time we have every time we have the pre-game press conference, I get nervous. I get nervous because
you think he's going to talk about Ivan Cavallero. You think it's coming up.
You know what? There should be a riot down Fulham Palace Road if he's included in 11. Seriously, because where do you put him? Where do you cannot.
Okay, but Yannis, do know that once he is fully healthy, he is going to get a shot to play. You do know that.
I'd loan him out.
There's worse players that we need to loan out. I think he's going to be a good bench player. Again on this day, he's got some qualities there. Again,
I'd be getting rid of Knockhart first.
Yeah, Knockhart would go first.
Knockhart.
To be honest, yeah,
Knockhart
needs to move on.
He can go to Brighton. They're so boring down there. They'd maybe we could ask if we could get Dan Burn back. Dan Burn was superb last night against Palace. I thought, absolutely superb. Okay. He has so developed as a player, and actually, funnily enough, he might be the kind of centre back that we could potentially be looking at for next year. And he's got the experience, and he's left-footed. Just saying. But Cavallero can. No, I'm not having that. He might.
We need another Joachim Anderson, don't we, in defence next season to play alongside Tosin.
Oh, we absolutely do.
Tosin's not the player this season he was last season, and why? Because he hasn't got.
He doesn't get that partner. He doesn't have that partner. That's a great point there. Yeah. Okay, Yannis, I have a comment from you, from Steve Reynolds. One for Yannis. Should Tom have done better for the goal we conceded?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and that's something that Silva will, I'm sure, the walkthrough, there won't be practice tomorrow, and the walkthrough will be Monday for the Tuesday game. But during the walkthrough, I'm sure he'll take him and say, got to do a little better, son, because when we play like the likes of the Bournemouths and Blackburns and the Ha-Has, it could be a last-minute thing where it's 0-0. You've got to put a challenge in, son. Do it. Do your job.
Okay.
But that's the only thing. I mean, if that's the only thing we can... I mean, 90 minutes of utter brilliance. But, yeah, I think he should have done better there.
Okay, excellent. I'm going to share this from Dave Cronin. We have not mentioned Marco at all. Let's give Silva some praise as well. Never gets mentioned. It's actually a good point.
Very true.
Yeah.
It's very true. We are not mentioning enough of the job Marco Silva is doing. Emilio, you and I complained 2 seasons ago all the time about Parker Ball, me and you.
Yeah, true. Very true, yeah.
Is there really much to complain about here? I know we're talking about small things or potentially things that could be issues, but overall, the style of play from Marco Silva has been phenomenal.
Yeah, and we always said, I think we said before the season, what we were expecting, we will score many goals, but we will concede. I think, there have been instances where, we haven't been able to kill those games off. Those games that we've dropped points from winning positions, that's
true.
Been disappointing. So, Bristol City away, Preston away, Luton away. Is it Derby at home? Those then Coventry away, Blackpool away. We're either winning emphatically or we're sort of struggling to 1-1s and all that. So it's turn around some of those 1-1s into ugly-ish 2-1 wins, then we'll win the championship. But if you're going to sort of either win 6-0 or struggle to a 1-0 defeat or a 1-1 draw, then the likes of Blackburn, the other teams are going to keep pressing us. So that's it. But then again, no one's perfect, right? But I love watching this team play because we're scoring goals for fun. Very exciting to watch. And we've got some good times ahead. So it's let's win this championship. Let's get promoted and let's get back up to the big stage and stay in that division. Because all we need is one good season in the Premier League, or consolidate. Then we do what the other teams do. Just keep building year on year. That's all we need.
Exactly.
Easier said than done, admittedly, but it's if likes of Aston Villa can do it, Brighton, Wolves, why can't we?
Do it?
Why can't
we?
we?
Absolutely, you are 100%. You just have to survive that first year. And if they can finally survive it and then build from that point on.
Build, exactly.
Emilio, there's no reason why they can't have a long run in the Premier League like they did before. They have the ability to do that. They just need to do it. But Yannis, before we go, I want to ask you about Silva real quick because I was thinking about this. I know how much of a fan you were of Parker. You really were. So how do you feel about the difference between Parker and Silva now?
It's funny. I wish when you first start coaching, you sort of don't feel like you have the pressure on you. So you just go out and you coach. And I think as you win things and you get older, sometimes it gets a little bit more nervy. But I think it's, he's the comparing it, he's so conservative, Parker. I saw what he tried to do last year, but the chemistry was all wrong. And when we were in a position really to cut the gap to stay up, he couldn't do it. Silva has come in and said, okay, I've been out of football for a little while, but I'm just going to attack. And that's something that Parker never did. And the style is that much better. We've got a goal difference of, plus 43 now, which is insanity. And he's got them looking happy. And let's not forget his backroom staff. Luis Morte was a masterstroke, bringing him back in. And it's entertaining and it's fun. And teams, all of the championship is talking about us.
Yeah.
And the Premier League is probably looking down and going, what the heck is going down there? Us and Blackburn are the two stories of the season so far. Blackburn because, Ben Brereton Diaz, he could be gone by the end of January. And the number of goals we scored, and Mitro, who 13 starts last year or something silly like that.
Yep.
And now he's scored 27.
It's insane.
Really, come on. So Parker looks like a bit of a schmuck. And by the way, for Mr. Parker, he may have a problem because with Newcastle sniffing around, I would not be surprised if they try and put a bid in for Solanke.
Yeah,
this is very true, Yannis. You know, I've heard of some stuff going on that he could get some interest, so you could be right about that. So he has something to be concerned about. I don't think Fulham have anything to worry about with Mitro. I don't think Mitro's going anywhere. I know people have been asking me. I just don't see it happening because one, I can't imagine the Cons would allow it to happen, and two, I don't think he wants to go. So
no.
So that's the way I look at it, guys. Great show. I do want to mention this because I had a couple of Fulham supporters mentioned this to me that I should really be promoting this more. And I know you're going to agree with me, Emilio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, please do.
Because the last couple of weeks, I've had more people subscribe to the YouTube channel. We started this about 6 to 7 months ago. It takes a while to build it up. So if you're watching, please do subscribe. It will really help other Fulham supporters find us. Okay. Final thoughts from the guys. Yannis, final thoughts before we go.
Tuesday night will be an interesting game. I like Birmingham City. I don't think it'll be easy, but it is at the Cottage. It's the rearranged game. I'm suspecting there'll be a couple of changes in the lineup, but I'm looking forward to it. It's our game in hand. Let's use it. And then by Tuesday night, let's be 5 points clear of the rest of them.
Okay. Emilio, your final thoughts.
Yeah, what more is there to say? 6-2 at home, top of the league. Fantastic goals, great atmosphere. We had a 15-minute delay to the game because of some sort of power issues at the club. Don't forget that was also entertaining as well. So it's overall, great victory. Call out to Marco Silva, like the other fan just mentioned a few moments ago, and great team performance. And look, we now can come back from a deficit as well and win games as well comprehensively. So Birmingham will be a trickier game. Again, we've not got the best record at home with them, but let's not worry about what we've done in the past. Let's get another 3 points because then it's in our control, right?
Yep.
But don't be surprised. We also see a couple signings in the transfer window as well. I think we will see some depth and strength in midfield in particular. I still think we need someone there as cover. I don't think we've got, again, 3 goals we've conceded at home, Sheffield United, and 2 today are consequences of that weakness in midfield.
Okay, excellent stuff. Okay, my final thoughts actually involve Yannis and myself. The Goldman double's in play, Yannis. The Goldman double's in play. But Yannis will be happy with this because I'm going to predict the Patriots-Bills playoff game, and I'm going to say 17-10 Bills. Yes, I don't think the Patriots are going to win tonight, and I think Yannis is going to be happy. But I hope my team does win, but I'm not very hopeful. So I'm going with Yannis's team, the Buffalo flipping Bills. So I'm giving that to Yannis before we wrap this up. All right. Great show. We're going to be back soon. Thank you, everyone, for watching live. Please do subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Please do.
But let's wrap this up. For Yannis Tjanetis Emilio Di Nello, the Fulham Shadow in full shadow mode tonight. I'm
Yeah,
Russ Goldman. Thank you as always for
There's
watching.
a light up there. Look.
Thank you as always for
Okay, thank
watching
you.
and listening to Cottage Talk.